Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a monumental journey back in time, over 4,500 years ago, to unravel one of history's most enduring mysteries. How exactly were the magnificent Egyptian pyramids built? We're talking about structures so grand, so precise, they still boggle the mind even with all our modern technology. Forget alien theories. The real story of human ingenuity, sweat, and sheer determination is far more fascinating. So grab your imaginary trowels and let us dig into the incredible construction methods and materials that brought these ancient wonders to life. First off, let's talk materials. What exactly did the ancient Egyptians use? Well, the vast majority of the pyramids, especially the core, were constructed using readily available limestone. This wasn't just any old rock. It was quarried from nearby sites, like the famous Tura quarries across the Nile for the finer outer casing stones or local bedrock for the inner core. Imagine thousands of workers, not with power tools, but with copper chisels, wooden mallets, and brute force, painstakingly carving out massive blocks. For the outer casing, particularly on structures like the Great Pyramid of Giza, they used a higher quality, lighter-colored limestone from Tura. This stone was incredibly fine-grained, allowing for a smooth, almost polished finish that would have gleamed brilliantly in the Egyptian sun. Picture it, a white, shining beacon visible for miles, almost like a mirror reflecting the sky. Sadly, much of this casing stone was later stripped away for other building projects, but a few remnants at the base of the pyramids still give us a glimpse of their original splendor. Beyond limestone, they also incorporated tougher stones. Granite, for example, a much harder and more durable material, was used for critical structural elements like the king's burial chambers, sarcophagi, and reinforcing passages. This granite was typically sourced from Aswan, hundreds of kilometers south of Giza. Just think about the logistics of moving those colossal granite blocks, some weighing tens of tons, all the way up the Nile. We'll get to how they did that in a moment. Basalt and alabaster were also used for flooring or specific decorative elements, adding variety and strength where needed. Now let's dive into the how, the construction methods themselves. This is where it gets truly mind-blowing. The sheer scale of these projects is almost incomprehensible. The Great Pyramid alone is estimated to contain over 2.3 million stone blocks. Moving just one of those, let alone millions, without modern machinery seems impossible, right? But the Egyptians were master engineers and organizers. One of the most widely accepted theories for moving these gargantuan stones involves a combination of ramps, sledges, and a lot of human power. Imagine a vast workforce organized into teams using wooden sledges lubricated with water or even wet clay to reduce friction. They would then pull these sledges, laden with blocks, up specially constructed ramps. There are different ideas about the type of ramps used. Some archaeologists propose a straight colossal ramp built against one face of the pyramid, gradually increasing in height. Others suggest a spiral ramp winding around the pyramid's exterior, or even a combination of internal ramps discovered within the Great Pyramid itself, which is a newer and incredibly exciting theory. Regardless of the exact configuration, these ramps were vital arteries, enabling the upward movement of materials. Speaking of moving materials, before the blocks even reached the pyramid construction site, they had to be extracted from the quarries. This involved incredibly precise techniques. Workers would identify natural fissures in the rock, then use copper chisels and wooden wedges. They'd hammer the wooden wedges into cracks, then soak them with water. As the wood expanded, it would slowly but surely split the rock, creating manageable blocks. Once separated, these blocks were roughly shaped at the quarry site before being transported. Transportation from the quarry, especially for the distant granite from Aswan, involved barges on the Nile River. During the annual inundation, when the Nile flooded its banks, it would bring water closer to the quarry sites and the pyramid plateau, making it easier to transport the massive stones. This highlights the deep connection between ancient Egyptian civilization and the rhythm of the Nile, not just for agriculture, but for monumental construction too. Once the blocks were at the base of the pyramid, or on a ramp, how did they get them into position with such incredible accuracy? This is where an understanding of geometry and astronomy came into play. The Egyptians were skilled surveyors. They leveled the pyramid's base with astonishing precision, creating a perfectly flat foundation. They likely used water-filled trenches or sighting poles to achieve this. For placing the blocks, it's believed they used levers and possibly rudimentary rollers, combined with the sheer strength of many workers. As the ramp height increased, the challenges multiplied. Precision was paramount, especially for the outer casing stones, which had to fit together seamlessly, almost like a giant jigsaw puzzle. The joints between these stones were so tight that even a knife blade couldn't be inserted between them. This wasn't just for aesthetics, it contributed to the structural integrity and longevity of the pyramids. Another crucial aspect of pyramid building was the sheer organization of labor. This wasn't built by slaves in the way many imagine. Evidence suggests it was a highly organized national project employing skilled craftsmen, architects, engineers, and a vast seasonal workforce of farmers who would work on the pyramids during the annual flood season when their fields were submerged. These workers were housed, fed, and even paid, showcasing a complex administrative system. Archaeological findings near the Giza pyramids have revealed bakeries, fish processing plants, and dormitories for thousands of workers. It was a massive logistical undertaking, a testament to the pharaoh's power and the people's collective effort. The internal structure of the pyramids also reveals fascinating construction techniques. Far from being solid masses, many pyramids contain intricate systems of passages, chambers, and relieving chambers designed to reduce the weight on the burial chambers below. For example, above the king's chamber in the Great Pyramid, there are 5 relieving chambers designed to deflect the immense weight of the masonry above, preventing the ceiling from collapsing. These were built using massive granite beams, again transported from Aswan and meticulously placed. The capstone, or pyramidion, at the very top of the pyramid was often made of granite or basalt and sometimes plated with electrum, an alloy of gold and silver, to shimmer in the sun, acting as a focal point and symbolizing the pyramid's connection to the heavens. Getting this final piece into place would have been the ultimate engineering feat, likely involving a final specialized ramp structure. The construction of these pyramids was not just about moving stones. It was about precision, planning, and an incredible understanding of engineering principles, even without the tools we have today. It involved thousands of people working together for decades under the guidance of brilliant architects like Imhotep, who is credited with designing the step pyramid, the precursor to the true smooth-sided pyramids. So the next time you see an image of the majestic pyramids, remember the incredible human story behind them, the meticulous quarrying, the arduous transportation up the Nile, the ingenious ramps, the precision of placement, and the collective spirit of an entire civilization dedicated to honoring their pharaohs and ensuring their journey to the afterlife. It's a testament to what humanity can achieve when united by a grand vision. Isn't that just incredible? These ancient engineers and laborers truly left an awe-inspiring legacy. If you enjoyed this deep dive into pyramid construction, please hit that like button, share this video with a friend who loves history, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more journeys into the past. We've got so many more amazing stories to uncover together. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ever gazed at the Great Pyramid of Giza and just thought, how on earth did they do that? It's a question that has baffled historians, engineers, and dreamers for centuries. But a question that's just as mind-boggling is, how long did it all take? Today, we're diving deep into the sands of time to uncover the incredible timelines behind the construction of Egypt's most iconic monuments. So grab your gear, we're heading back to the age of the pharaohs. The most famous of them all, the Great Pyramid of Giza, built for Pharaoh Khufu, is a masterpiece of ancient engineering. For a long time, the common belief, thanks to the ancient Greek historian Herodotus, was that it took 100,000 workers a grueling 20 years to complete. Herodotus wrote this about 2,000 years after the pyramid was built, so he was reporting on history much like we are today. He described a massive workforce toiling relentlessly under the hot Egyptian sun. But modern archaeology tells a slightly different and perhaps even more fascinating story. While the 20-year time frame is still widely accepted by many Egyptologists, the picture of the workforce has changed dramatically. Instead of a massive temporary army of laborers, evidence now points to a smaller, highly skilled and well-organized crew of about 20,000 to 30,000 people. Think of it less like a chaotic mob and more like a massive state-run construction company. So how do we know this? Archaeologists have uncovered the remains of a purpose-built town right next to the Giza Plateau. This wasn't a temporary camp. It was a sprawling city with bakeries, breweries, and medical facilities. Excavations have revealed that the workers were well-fed, receiving daily rations of bread, beer, and meat. They weren't just laborers, they were respected artisans and builders, the backbone of the pharaoh's grand project. Their skeletons even show signs of healed bones, indicating they received medical care, a privilege not afforded to just anyone back then. This was a career, a lifelong dedication for many. Now let's break down that 20-year timeline. It wasn't just 20 years of piling stones on top of each other. The project was incredibly complex and had to be done in stages. First, there was the site preparation. The Giza Plateau had to be surveyed and leveled with astonishing precision. The builders managed to level the base of the Great Pyramid to within just a couple of centimeters, an incredible feat even with today's technology. This initial phase alone could have taken several years. Then came the quarrying and transportation of the stones. The majority of the 2.3 million blocks used for the Great Pyramid were limestone, quarried right there on the Giza Plateau. But the outer casing stones, which gave the pyramid a smooth, gleaming white finish, were made of fine Tura limestone, brought from quarries across the Nile River. And the massive granite blocks used for the king's chamber? They were transported all the way from Aswan, over 500 miles to the south. Imagine the logistics. These granite blocks weighed up to 80 tons each. Scholars believe they were loaded onto huge barges and floated down the Nile during the annual flood season, when the water was high enough to bring them closer to the construction site. Recent discoveries like the Diary of Mera, a 4,500-year-old papyrus logbook, have given us a first-hand account of this process. Mera was an official in charge of a crew that transported limestone from Tura to Giza. His diary details the daily operations, the canal systems they used, and how they moved these colossal stones. It's like finding the project manager's daily planner from 2500 BC. Once the stones arrived, they had to be moved into place. This is where the debate over ramps comes in. Did they use a single, long, straight ramp, a spiral ramp that wrapped around the pyramid, or an internal ramp system? The truth is, we still don't know for sure, and it was likely a combination of different techniques. Whatever the method, it required immense manpower, skill, and coordination. Each block had to be precisely cut and fitted. This wasn't just stacking bricks. It was a colossal, three-dimensional puzzle. So 20 years for the Great Pyramid seems plausible. But what about the others? The Giza complex isn't just one pyramid. Pharaoh Khafre, Khufu's son, built his own pyramid right next door. It's slightly smaller, but appears taller because it's built on higher ground. It also includes the Great Sphinx. The construction of Khafre's pyramid and its associated temples is also estimated to have taken around 20 years. Then there's the Pyramid of Menkaure, the smallest of the three main Giza pyramids. Its construction timeline is estimated to be a bit shorter, perhaps around 15 years. So if we add it all up, the construction of just the three main pyramids at Giza likely spanned a period of 60 to 70 years, covering the reigns of three successive pharaohs. This was a multi-generational project that defined an entire era of Egyptian history. But pyramid building didn't start or end at Giza. The very first pyramid, the Step Pyramid of Giza at Saqqara, was built around 26 and 30 BC. Its construction, a revolutionary new style of architecture, probably took about 19 years. Other pharaohs built their own pyramids too, like the Bent Pyramid and the Red Pyramid at Dashur, built by Khufu's father, Sneferu. Sneferu was a prolific builder. His reign saw the construction of three major pyramids, a process that likely took the better part of his 30 to 40-year rule. In total, the age of pyramid building in Egypt lasted for over 1,000 years, but the most intense and iconic period, the era of the giant pyramids of the Old Kingdom, was a concentrated burst of architectural genius lasting a few centuries. The 20-year figure for the Great Pyramid is more than just a number. It represents an incredible mobilization of a nation's resources, workforce, and ingenuity. It speaks to a society that was highly organized, technologically advanced for its time, and unified by a powerful belief system centered on the pharaoh and the afterlife. They weren't just building a tomb, they were building a stargate, a stairway to the heavens for their king to ensure the prosperity and stability of the entire kingdom. So the next time you see a picture of the pyramids, don't just see a pile of stones. See the decades of dedication, the brilliant minds that planned it, and the thousands of skilled hands that built it, block by monumental block. It's a testament to what humanity can achieve when we work together towards a grand vision. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. What ancient mystery should we explore next? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you won't miss our next adventure. Until next time, stay curious, hello, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of history's greatest mysteries. How long did it really take to build the Great Pyramid of Giza? This colossal monument, the last surviving wonder of the ancient world, has baffled historians and engineers for centuries. The common answer you'll hear is about 20 years. But is it really that simple? Let's peel back the layers of time and explore the incredible logistics, theories, and evidence surrounding this monumental feat of engineering. First, let's establish where that 20-year figure comes from. The primary source is the ancient Greek historian Herodotus, who visited Egypt around 450 BCE, a full 2,000 years after the pyramid was completed. He wrote that the construction took 20 years for a workforce of 100,000 men who worked in 3-month shifts. For a long time, this was the accepted narrative. It painted a picture of immense, almost unimaginable, human effort over 2 decades. But modern archaeology and engineering have started to question this account. Can we rely on a story told 2 millennia after the fact? And more importantly, do the numbers even add up? Let's break it down.